in the same costume. That goes from family to family. Come in, pleasant up. And here you have the wedding shoes. Then a boy and girl go married at my place. The boy make the shoes for the girl. 3 man stand for the makeup, so the boy can think it over, he can change his mind. And the girl makes 6 of those pillowcases. That's also handmade. That's the traditie. And that cabinet is from 1679. Look here. All pictures from the Bible. Here too, Delft's blue. Here you can read it, but you can find it in the Bible. Real Delft. Here you can stay here. Here you have the costumes of the children. Here's a costume for a boy, that's for the girl. The boy have long hair and petticoats. You see the difference, the boy have a white stripe, the girl flowers on the front. And you can see it on the cap, the boy have a circle on the cap. And that's for the girl. Look.
Nice.
When the boy is 4 years old, then she changes the petticoats for a strousie. Then it is half boy, half girl. Look here the doll, here you can see it. Look here. And when the boy is 6 years old, when I go to school, then she cut the hair off and it is a real boy, like me. And dit costume, the girl to 12 years, close it on the back. That's all handmade.
Beautiful.
And after 12 years, then she close it on the front.
Oh.
Now you understand that. All handmade.
Oh.
And you see those boxes over there? We not put in cookies, we put in clothes. We make all small bundles, we wrap it up and put it in the box. All different clothes. Here I got one, here you can see it. Look here. That's an apron, the same as this.
Oh my gosh.
All different clothes in the box. And here you have the shoes for the lady for the highs. That keep you fast, don't slip.
Oh my, spicy.
And all the time the name on the shoes, everybody knows the shoes.
Yeah, I'm not about to sit up there. Grab that trivia, like $3, $20, like $30. He knows I like dogs. I got to do my showcase. Oh, he's got land today. He goes walk around over the ocean. Right.
I got it. I'll take it that way.
older. The windmill that we're going to visit tomorrow was actually built in 1750. And that's in a little town called Kinderdijk.
Get a good shot there.
You get a good shot when you make the turn. Yeah, there you go.
Now what exactly is a polder mill? Well, a polder mill, its primary function is
I'm just taking some of the close-up.
This is the latest in Stairmaster technique.
Trying to get it going. He is getting it. Did you see it turn? Yeah.
Has never been restored. This is, over there in the front of you, the oldest bridge in town.
Okay, you can get it.
Oh, sure.
Get a boat.
The second bridge is the Halls Bridge. Builds the inside. And behind the Halls Bridge on your right hand side, you will see the Pelican House with the Pelican emblem above the red door. It used to be a house of retired lace makers. Over here on your right, number 8. You can see the Pelican emblem above the red door, and it was built in 1634. The Pelican House. The next canal on your right has connection to Kent. It's 28 miles from here. So there in front of you, the statue of Jan van Eyck and the Burger's house.
That's right.
Good morning. My name is Chris, and in the, let's say, next half an hour I will try to explain you how we make here our famous Belgian chocolates. I'm just saying trying because normally I'm the waiter from across the road in the tea room. So I have to stand in this morning. But before I worked in the tea room, I also made chocolates over here, so I know exactly how to make the chocolates, so that should be no problem. Now, first of all, if you're wandering around Bruges, you will notice that you will find more than 50, 60, maybe 70 chocolate shops inside the center. And that's quite a lot for a small town like Bruges. And for the, let's say, 60 chocolate shops, there are only 3 left who are still making their chocolates at home. So all the others are having a big factory outside the center, let's say capital Brussels, or taking chocolates from a retailer. So far we are very happy and still very proud. We are still one of the 3 making still their chocolates here on the premises. Now before we can offer you our chocolates, we have to make them first, and to make our chocolates we need chocolate. And chocolate is coming from a cocoa bean, and here you can see a cocoa bean. And cocoa beans are growing in countries around the equator. So we can say Mexico in South America, Ghana in Africa, Indonesia and Asia, so there you will find the cocoa beans. In the beginning, the bean will be green and hard. Later on, it's yellow and a little bit softer, and that you can see here on the right picture. So you can see the green bean and the yellow bean. So once the bean is yellow, they take the bean off the tree, that you can see in the middle picture, and then they cut the bean in two, because inside the bean you have smaller beans. So actually the cocoa beans where they make the chocolate from. So they cut the bean in two. Inside they find beans, but also white flesh. And the flesh, when it's useless, they mostly give it to the animals. Or otherwise they're also making tequila with it. It's also made from the flesh from a cocoa bean. So, but we are going to make chocolate, so we need the chocolate beans. And here you can see some samples of cocoa beans where they actually make the chocolate from. Of course, first of all, at the beginning the beans are still wet because of the flesh inside. So they put the beans under banana leaves to dry into the sun. So, and once they're all dried, then they can sell them. And actually they all sell them to London. So London is the chocolate center of the world. All the beans are first going to the big market in London, and from there on they resell the beans all over the world again. It's more or less like a trade market and stock market. So normally we have to buy the beans just a year in advance. So we can say more or less what the chocolate price will be in a year or in 2 years, something like this. So then they sell the beans to a factory here named Callebaut. There's a big factory named Callebaut. His brother has also a factory in the United States and Canada, also making chocolate. So Callebaut is making the chocolate for us. So they receive the beans, they peel the beans, because there's still a peel around it, and they roast the beans. And once they peel and roast the beans, they just smash them. And when I should smash a bean like this, there will come two things out of it. First of all, like in all nuts, there's coming an oil out of the bean. And the oil is a cocoa butter. So here you can see cocoa butter. Cocoa butter also used in the cosmetic, for lipstick, to protect your lips against the sun, the cold, or in body creams. But now cocoa butter has a very high quality, but is also very expensive. And now some factories, who will offer chocolates on very low prices, they simply take away the cocoa butter out of the chocolate and they replace it by animal fat or fish-bone oil. And that's how they can offer chocolates on very low prices, but of course they take away the quality out of the chocolate. And then the rest that's left of the bean is just a dry dark powder, and here you can see the dark powder pressed together. It seems to be dark chocolate, but it isn't. This is cocoa mass or cocoa liqueur, and the cocoa liqueur, you may try to eat it, but I can guarantee you it's quite very awful. It's not very nice to eat, it's very, very bitter. And I tell you a little secret, that's what we do with the new members of the staff. We just give them a little bit of this, they never touch chocolate anymore. And that's how we save our profits. Now, to make this block of cocoa liqueur a little bit more attractive, what we can do is just adding sugar to it. And by adding sugar to it, you make it sweeter. And then we will come to our dark chocolate. Now here in Belgium, it's about 60% cocoa liqueur, 40% sugar. In France, our neighbors, it's 70% cocoa liqueur and 30% sugar. So the dark chocolate will be more bitter in France than here in Belgium. And it's just depending from country to country what they put inside of cocoa liqueur and sugar. Now by adding some more sugar to it, vanilla and milk powder, then we will come to the milk chocolate that you see over here. And the third kind of chocolate we have is our white chocolate. But normally I may not name this chocolate. And why not? Because it doesn't contain any cocoa liqueur. So you may only name something chocolate when it contains this cocoa liqueur. So the white chocolate is only cocoa butter with sugar, vanilla and milk powder added to it. So in most of the shops you will see that the white chocolate is a little bit more expensive than the dark and the milk. And that's because there's more cocoa butter inside, that's quite very expensive. And there is also a little bit more calories in the white chocolate as well. Now then we will receive our chocolate in big blocks, but I don't see here one for the moment. And big blocks of 5 kilograms. And during the night we melt the blocks in two big melting kettles behind this wall. So in the front you can still see the control panels. And during the night we are melting the chocolate on a temperature 45 degrees.
45.
You double?
Double at 30. So it's 90, 120.
Yeah. So during the night we're melting the chocolate on this temperature. And then when we come in the morning, so normally we start making chocolates, but let's say most of the times it's impossible. We can't come at 8 o'clock and start making chocolates. And why not? Because this temperature is too high. And so we have to bring down the chocolate to the setting point or the right temperature. And for the three kind of chocolates we need 3 different temperatures. So for example on this machine, that is in Celsius, so you must have a temperature between 30 and 31 degrees Celsius. So we're coming from 45 degrees Celsius. So this chocolate is on the right temperature. For the milk chocolate we must have 29-30, so it's a little bit lower again, on the right temperature. And for the white chocolate we must have 27-28, again a little bit lower. 35 degrees Celsius, so this chocolate is too high of temperature. I can't work with the white chocolate. What will happen when I work with the white chocolate, I'll explain you that a little bit later. So of course on the machines we have cooling systems, so in just half an hour we can reach the setting point. And then we can start making chocolates. And chocolates we make actually in 2 ways. And for the first way we will use a mold that you here see behind me. So we use those shapes to make our sweets. It is made out of polycarbonate, it's a hard plastic. So everyone can buy it in a shop, they are quite very expensive. Like this. Now sometimes the people ask me, do you wash them because there's still chocolate stuck around it? Yes we do, but not every time. And of course there's a reason for it, because if you look inside this mold, you can see it's quite very shiny. And that's because there are still some traces of cocoa butter inside. You see? So when I put my finger in here, on the next chocolate you will see my fingerprint, because I took out a little bit of the cocoa butter. When we wash it out with water, the first 5 chocolates we will make will be grey. And so the more we use the mold without washing out with water, the more cocoa butter will be left inside, and the more my chocolates will begin to shine. So that's the reason why we not every time wash it out with water. Now to start, first of all, we introduce the chocolate into the mold. We just fill it up with chocolate and then we shake it a little bit. Because into the chocolate, with the circulation of your machine and the air conditioning, there are some small air bubbles. And the air bubbles are at the bottom, what later will be the top. So they make little holes, and when we fill it up with the cream drips out. And just by shaking it, you bring the air out of the chocolate. So now I will demonstrate you how I show you how we do it. We do it like this. Just fill it up with chocolate. It seems very easily, but the first time you have chocolate all over your hand. It happens with everybody. So now we just shake it a little bit. And you can see some small air bubbles just coming out. So if you 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, a few small air bubbles just coming out of the chocolate. Like this. So meanwhile we can do another one over here, and so we can switch between the two. So then we turn it around again. And because we are working on the setting point, you can see the chocolate is quite very thick. And so now we will come to the shell or the outside of our sweets, nothing more. And we will come to something like this. Now we can put this in our fridge for about half an hour. And in half an hour the chocolate will be dry. And now because we worked on the setting point, on the right temperature, my chocolate first of all will dry very fast, but will also shrink a little bit. And that's the reason why we can take the chocolate out like this. So when we work with chocolate, just half a degree too high, and that's not much. So then the chocolate will stuck in forever until we wash it out with water. And the second, when we work on chocolate on the right temperature, because of the crystallization of your cocoa butter, your chocolate will shine. When you work with chocolate half a degree too high, this chocolate will have a white bloom. It's great, it looks like old chocolate. So for those two reasons we have to work on the setting point of the right temperature. Now once the chocolate is dry, then we can do something inside. And to do something inside, we can choose between fresh cream. We can make a fresh cream. We can make we can do praline inside, and praline is hazelnut paste with sugar. This praline. Or we can make a cream. And the cream exists out of fresh butter we use, and then fondant or icing sugar. It's a sweet white sugar. So it seems like a cream with fondant or icing sugar. Yes, so the sugar has no flavor, so we have to add a flavor to it, and therefore we use a compound. And here you can see a compound, and a compound is something very, very concentrated. So you have it in cherries, banana, strawberry, orange. So we only add a little bit of the compound to the cream, then we mix everything together, and then with a plastic icing bag like this, then we can start to fill it up, so piece by piece, something like this. Sometimes we have to do a liqueur inside, and a liqueur we can't do it with this icing bag, and then we will use a tool like this. So on the bottom is a small little ball, and just by pressing the handle you lift up the ball a little bit, so you make a small opening. Then we can do again the liqueur inside like this. And then our last step is to seal it or to close it. So here there's no praline inside, so we do it again under the machine like this. So we close our sweet, and it's only now a thin layer of chocolate. So we can leave this on our table for just 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes, so normally the chocolate is dry. Like this. And then the last step to do is to turn it around on the table. So I see that's one they did demonstration just before you. So then we just simply turn it around on our table, we tap on it, and then the chocolates are coming out and they are ready to go to the shop. Now for special occasions like Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, then we use some figures like this. It's the same principle. So you have two halves, so you put them together, you do it under the chocolate, shake it, turn it around, but then we do it a second time, otherwise your chocolate is too thin and it will break very easily. And after 2 times we put it in our fridge, the chocolate is drying and shrinking a little bit, and in half an hour, so normally we can open the 2 halves, and then your figure is coming out. Like this. Now here in the first way, you saw that we made first an exterior, we put in an interior. The second way of making the chocolates is just the reverse. There you're going to make first an interior, and later on we surround it with chocolate. And for those interiors we mostly use marzipan or praline. So praline that we mix with chocolate, so it becomes hard. So we do the praline or marzipan in frames. And I see here we have a frame, and a frame like this. So how more frames you use on each other, how bigger your interior will be. When the praline is dry, we just cut it out, and then let's say we come to a paste, let's say something like this, with a little bit thicker. Now, of course, out of this paste we need smaller pieces. So then in the other room we have a tool, and it's something like this, but with a few strings inside. And you can compare it with something for cutting through cheese. So you press it down on the marzipan or the praline like this. It's just cutting through the paste. You do it the other way around, like this. And then you will have interiors like this, so squared ones or rectangle ones. And you will come to those interiors. Now sometimes we will also have interiors like a round, an oval or a heart. Then we can do it with this tool. And then we use a tool like this. It's also a simple tool. So you press it down in the marzipan or praline. You take it out. There's marzipan or praline inside. And then by pressing the handle, your interiors are coming out. And then you will have interiors like this. So a heart or a round one. Then we will come to such an interiors. Now once we have all the interiors, then we can go to the coating machine. And here you see a sample of a coating machine. So on the bottom there's a container with chocolate, like you see over here. There's a wheel that brings up the chocolate, like you also see over here. But then the chocolate is coming into the bridge. We name this the bridge. It comes in here. And at the end of the bridge there's a lid that you can open or closing. And by open or closing this lid, you create, it's like a waterfall, it's a curtain of chocolate. Now on this machine we work with 3 persons. So the first person will stand here on the beginning of the conveyor belt. It's just putting the interiors on the conveyor belt. They're going towards the waterfall, through the waterfall, and then they are covered with chocolate like this. So nothing more. You're just surrounded with chocolate. Now from this conveyor belt they're going on another one, because behind this one we have another one from about 5 meters long. And there's a second person decorating the chocolates. So your chocolate is still soft, so you can easily press down something into the chocolate, like a walnut, a hazelnut, mimosa and sugar. So you decorate your chocolates. Or you want to do it like this. And then at the end of the conveyor belt, so normally the chocolates are dry because of the setting point and the air conditioning. And there's a third person packing in the chocolates in grey boxes, and they can go also directly to our shop. Now sometimes we have chocolates that we are not decorating, like this one. Well then later on, with a small paper icing bag, one like this. So we do another type of chocolate inside, let's say milk chocolate. And then we can paint on our sweets like some stripes, a letter G, a dot. So we just decorate them like this. So they're all done by hand as well. So then they go to the shop. So chocolates made here this morning will be at noon already in the shop, and that's quite very fast. And that's also why we can say, and we can guarantee that the chocolates will keep fresh for at least 6 to 8 weeks. Let's say 2 months. That's quite a long time, because normally they don't last so long.
Do you only sell at the shop here, or do you ship?
You export?
No, we do not ship. We only make chocolates for our own shop, not for other shops. We do not ship because they never arrive in good conditions. And because we make them on a high quality, we are well known for high quality. We did it a few times, but they were melted, the box was opened. There's always something wrong with it, and for this reason we don't do it. Of course, you can buy. You can go to the post office and put it in a box, and then it's on your own risk, but you can